describes the single as jangly, kinetic, and giving some very sweet early New Order vibes. I'm glad you made the comparison so that that quote meant even more.
Well
So,
done, him. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles, you bugger. My name's John. His name is Andy. Now then, there lived a certain man in Russia long ago. He was big and strong, and his eyes a flaming glow. Most people looked at him with terror and of fear, but to Moscow chicks, he was such a lovely dear. More on that later, perhaps not. So we've got a track to listen to from Andy. Andy, what have you got for everybody to enjoy?
Well, I think we're going to be revisiting an artist that we've covered on the channel before. You, as I recall, were thoroughly enjoyed the track that I gave you by them in the past. This is a very recent release, one that folks have been looking forward to and hope that is a sign of a full-length album to come. The artist that we're going to revisit is one Mr. KennyHoopla.
How will I rest in peace when I'm buried by the highway or something?
Yes, very close. I mean, you damn near nailed it. Yeah. A few words here or there that don't really matter. But yes, that is the artist. That's the track that we've done previously on this channel. The one that I'm going to have you check out is, as I mentioned, his very latest track, and it is called One Tulip. Now, oftentimes he stylizes them with two backward slashes, and they're all in caps. It's One Tulip. So please give this a listen, and I'd love to hear what you make of this now, your second dalliance into the oeuvre of KennyHoopla.
Good, okay. Nice post-punk beginning. It sounds like a speeded up New Order. I wonder. Shouldn't really do this. Don't tell Andy. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, back to normal. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, it's really nice. That second guitar sounds lovely. It fitted in with the intro, and then when I guess it's like his vocals come in, and they're very, again, that sort of post-punk revival with that filter on it. That's kind of sounds like it's been recorded on something else. Fits it perfectly. Um, then it goes into like a pre-chorus bit, I guess, where the lines are echoed. He sings them twice. Um, and the guitar at the top of that sort of tinkling, really lovely. And then just then, I think it's the chorus. Sounds like the chorus anyway. And the last couple of lines, he sort of belts it a bit, and he really does sound like Kelly from Block Party at that point. It's great. I'm not complaining. Let's just go back a wee bit. That bit there with really high bass is just like Peter Hook as well. Yeah, this is really nice. It's kind of like just waves coming over you. It carries you along. You're nearly at the end of the song now. I didn't even realise that. Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a rip-off of the bands that influenced him. They were just there almost as a reference or a starting point. But yeah, clearly it still sounds like a bit like Block Party to me, but also New Order in that as well. Really nice. But yeah, I love the guitars in this. They were just fitting together, almost like lattice work, and just taking it all the way through. Really pretty. Um, haven't got a clue. I wrote down some lyrics that I caught. I can't even read what I've written, so we'll attempt to put that into my notes. But I guess we'll have to get the skinny from Andy. So let's go back and talk to him.
All right, welcome back. So what did you make of these of this one Tulip?
Okay, I will say shortish song.
Mhm.
Raced by. But yes, this was another post-punk romp. Um, immediately love the guitars from the intro. So you start off the first guitar and the bass. It sounded very much like speeded up early New Order, and I did have to put this to the test, so I did rewind it and played it at 3/4 speed, and it sounded lovely, and it sounded like early the order is really good. So then when I put it back, I thought, God, this is a bit quick. But then the second guitar comes in and it kind of slots in like an intricate lattice and it works so perfectly and it sounds so good. Really pretty as well. Yeah, so a great introduction to the song. Then his vocals come in and they too have that I'm trying to remember. I don't think his vocals had that effect on the last one, but there's got that sort of post-punk revival filter,
Yeah.
Casablancas et al. Sound to it as well, which is nice, and it fits it perfectly. And so I'm struggling with like hearing actual words. It's more, who's going along this verse. Then it changes up. So I think because he does it again, I think it's like a pre-chorus um, where we get, and it's a little bit clearer here because he sings a line and then echoes the words. He goes sort of like, there are clouds, something I didn't catch. There is rain, there is rain, inside my brain, inside my brain. And then something else about a rainbow. And I definitely heard one tulip found. So while he's going on about his mental weather, the guitar is tinkling like a weather report. Really beautiful notes over this. And the bass goes higher as well in true Peter Hook fashion. Joy Division, New Order at all. And then we go into the chorus, and I do catch a bit of it I think it's towards the end. He says something about like fireflies in late July, I think it is. And then he goes higher. Um, of course I cry, of course I lie, of course I smile. Well, at least I try, I think it is. And he really does. And I mentioned this before in the previous one. This is one of the bands that he reminded me of, but he really sounds like Kelly from Block Party when he sings those two lines, which I like, So and it's not like he's copying his own band, but it's just got that sound to it, which is that first Block Party album. So yeah, really good stuff. The song then proceeds almost like a wave over me, to be honest with you. The guitars and the bass just carry you onwards and sweep over you. And I didn't like stop again until about 20 seconds before the end of the song. It just caught me.
Mm.
So the pre-chorus repeats, there's a verse, pre-chorus repeats, then the chorus again. And then we briefly get some synths, I believe. And then it breaks down to just that post-punk guitar and bass, and then it ends. And it was just like, it's gone. I couldn't believe it. It's a short song that seems to be over in an instant, but it just carried me along. So I'm going to definitely listen to this again. I really liked this. I really liked the overall sound of this. It had a nice energy to it, had nice sort of musical base camp where it's coming from, but then it's definitely him. It's not a New Order pastiche or a Block Party pastiche. It clearly is quite the talent. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. And I'm
Awesome.
sorry I haven't got more to say because it just like went over me, but in a really good way. I thought it was superb.
It doesn't take a lot of words to say what is probably the most um I guess the most redeeming thing what we can say after giving this a listen is that you fully intend to listen to this again and soon, which is it doesn't take a lot to convey that. So I think that's the most ringing endorsement we can probably give songs that we share with one another. I just had a very similar experience with Nick Cave as well, so I definitely know the feeling. Yeah, really incredibly talented songwriter that does know how to tap into older stuff without bastardizing it, if I, not to
Yeah,
be bold or blunt or anything like that. While also giving it new life and his own life as well, injecting that into the mix as well. So yeah, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I heard this, like I said, this is new. I'll get into that. Very new, but when I heard it, I'm like, yep, yeah, this John's getting this because like I'd heard it and I heard everything that you just said. Like I've become so much more aware now over the last 3 years of like what Peter Hook's bass stuff sounds like,
yeah,
and there is that to this which then makes it sound like the bands, not just him, but the bands that he was in.
yeah.
So you get all of that, and I'm really really glad you liked it. Let's jump into this a little bit. I'll touch on him a little bit, but then we'll get more into this song and reviews thereof and things like that, since we covered a lot about the young man when we did How Will I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by a Highway. So here we go. Quick recap. Kenneth LaRon Beasley, born August 5th, 1997, known by his stage name KennyHoopla, is an American singer, songwriter, and musician. And LaRon's music has been categorized as indie rock, pop punk, often incorporating elements of new wave and dance punk. So, Broadway World describes Hoopla's art thusly. Much like color, sound consists of different shades, hues, and textures. Individuality results from the confluence of those elements. In broad and delicate strokes alike, KennyHoopla splashes sounds onto tape akin to paint on a canvas. With no style off limits, the Ohio-born and Wisconsin-based singer, songwriter, producer, and guitarist merges alternative, hip-hop, rock, indie, pop in a melodic undertow. Very excellent way of describing what Mr. Hoopla brings to the table as an artist. So, Rolling Stone championed Kenny as an artist you need to know, and Forbes went as far as to crown him one of the most exciting new rock artists of the year, amassing over 150 million streams and inciting applause from notable media outlets like Rolling Stone, The Fader, Hypebeast, Uprocks, Alternative Press, Kerrang, The Face, and Stereogum. Many periodicals and entities that we go to cite, rankings, reviews, all that stuff. So he's got a lot of heavy hitters behind him from the music media landscape. Now, I think we both know that there are some outliers that we don't like, and we don't necessarily always agree with it. But when you get that many of them to all come to the table and sort of echo each other, I think that says a lot about the artist. He has released 3 EPs. The first being Beneath the Willow Tree, which was self-released on October 5th, 2016. Then How Will I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried by a Highway? That was released on May 15th, 2020 via Arista and Mogul Records. And then Blink and You'll Miss It, which featured Travis Barker and was released on July 7th, 2023. Now it appears he's back in indie mode, including a business sense. Which is to say he's gone back to being independent and independently releasing his own music rather than going through the label. The new single, One Tulip, is his first release since parting ways with Arista Records. It's a jangly, dreamy, post-punky track. The single was released July 26th of 2024. So the artist refers to the newly released track as the beginning of a new chapter. He says, I didn't realize while writing it, but I think this song is about how when you're trying so hard to make sure no one is let down at all, but you forget about showing up for yourself. He says this in an interview with Alternative Press. I've tried to be of help my whole life and exhausted myself to be enough for my family and friends through empathy, currency, and just simply being there physically. But you'll always be half the person they need you to be until you learn to be a friend to yourself and make yourself whole. Though it hasn't been clearly messaged whether or not this new single is part of a larger album or EP, KennyHoopla has made it clear that he is preparing a proper, long-awaited, full-length debut album. Hoopla just finished a 24-city tour in support of 30 Seconds to Mars, another band, and he did so supporting this new single, which is likely to stir up press in preparation for that full-length debut that he alluded to in the quote. Maria Serra in Adobe Radio wrote this in her review of the new single, preceded by August 2023's Keep a Window Open. One Tulip is a self-produced masterclass infusing indie sleazy vocals with pop-punk sonics and raw lyrics to create something that is authentically KennyHoopla. Jake McFarlane of Hive magazine recently reviewed the single and awarded it 4 stars, writing, From the opening of the song and the jangly, meandering guitar riff, we know what kind of song this is going to be. The riff is beautiful and haunting in equal measures. It gets stuck in your head and really shines as the main star of the song. At points, the vocals take a back seat to this riff, showing a shyness in their performance, with Kenny Hoopla himself almost fading into the background behind the guitar line at points. It shows an insecurity and an innate want to be loved. By hiding behind this riff, it adds another layer to the lyrics. He would add, "This is a more tender version of the indie he once did, but it is a wonderful, haunting, beautiful song." Michael O'Connor Marotta of Vanyalan describes the single as jangly, kinetic, and giving some very sweet early New Order vibes. I'm glad you made the comparison so that quote meant even more.
Well done, him.
Yes, exactly. So over at Album of the Year, the single received user ratings providing an aggregate score of 85 out of 100. So already this track has hit the ground running, being really well received. Let's jump into these lyrics before I wrap things up with one final quote. So, how can you really know that I'm sorry? I wait all night for you to come around and haunt me, but it never happens, and I don't know why. I deserve the pain, but you're so shy. There are clouds, there are clouds, mixed in the doubt. And there is rain, inside my brain. The rainbow gleams. One tulip found. Don't let me see you like this. Make your own luck somehow. More words with power, not hard to find, like fireflies in late July. Of course I cry, of course I lie, of course I smile, at least I try. You play God and an angel lost its wings. I don't want to sleep, have a dream I lose my teeth. I can't break down because I owe you strength, and I need you now, but I can't say how. There are clouds, mixed in the doubt, mixed in the doubt. There is rain, inside my brain, inside my brain. The rainbow gleams, one tulip found. Don't let them see you like this. Make your own luck somehow. More words with power, not hard to find, like fireflies in late July. Of course I cry, of course I lie, of course I smile, at least I try. More words with power, not hard to find, like fireflies in late July. Of course I smile, of course I lie, of course I smile, at least I try. So, finally, I thought this more detailed take on the song from Grace Holtzclaw of Ones to Watch eloquently sums it up. So bear with me here. It's subdued yet cathartic anthem for people pleasers who often give their flowers away before filling up their own vases. One tulip pulses with undercurrents of that categorical Kenny Hoopla rage, except this time, instead of an outcry to the world, he addresses an intimate letter to himself. Dark wave reminiscent riffs rustle through the diluted cascades of percussion to set the stage for Kenny Hoopla's contemplative soliloquy. He sings, I wait all night for you to come around and haunt me, but it never happens, and I don't know why. He leans into discomfort, ruminating on the questions that keep him up at night. How do people perceive him? Will the world ever understand his true intentions? One tulip gets stuck on the illusions of insecurity and linger like the hours that drag on before dawn breaks. Thought that was a really excellent way to sum up what the track conveys, what it feels, what he felt in writing it, his intention in writing it, even if, as he mentioned earlier, he didn't know what he was getting himself into when he started to write. He found a way. And this is a really interesting song, introspective song. I also love how she notes that the first track that we covered, because I'm sure this is what she's alluding to, is an outcry to the world. Like, will you allow me in? Will you allow me to stay? Can I find my place, or will you find one for me? And this is much more looking at himself, as sort of an outcry to himself and those, I assume, that rely on him. in some way, shape, or form with his newfound fame and stuff. So yeah, interesting
Yeah,
song.
yeah. I just this comes across as a much more not yeah, more thoughtful sort of approach. Not to say that the previous track was dumb in any way, but it's just it was more forthright. But this is, you
Yes.
say, introspective. It's it's interesting. He's clearly a sort of thoughtful sort of guy, and in no hurry either in terms of
Yeah.
his output. So
Much to the chagrin of his fans. Yeah.
yeah, I imagine he likes to get everything right, so he's not going to be rushed. And it doesn't sound like he had a particularly great time with the record label, so he's gone back to being in control, which is
Yeah.
again fair enough. I mean,
You know
he's
what?
a
Like,
talented guy; you can hear that straight away. So, I mean, it's great that artists nowadays can do that. You
yes.
couldn't before, and so it is great that they have this control and maybe not get the backing or exposure, but if you're good enough, it finds a way, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, and you see that a lot across just different mediums where people could sort of take a bit of the power themselves when it comes to
Mm,
marketing their work and selling themselves and their art. Yeah, it's kind of everywhere now, and that's a good thing because
mm.
then what you have is you have a gatekeepers that homogenize the sounds we hear on our radios, which we've now abandoned to go find folks like this who
Yeah,
are doing it independently, and that is it may maybe not be the easiest thing. You may find yourself thinking it's a bit needle in the haystack, but it is a lot better than just taking whatever they're spooning you on the FM dial.
yeah,
So I'll take this way of ingesting music
100%.
10 times out of 10. So yeah, thank you so much. I agree with everything you said about him as an artist. I look forward to hearing more stuff, and I can promise you that when and if that time happens, I'm sure it will find its way to the channel, knowing that you're becoming a fan of his work as
Mm,
much as I am.
definitely.
Well, yeah, yeah, good stuff. All right, guys out there in the listening audience, let us know what you thought of One Tulip by Kenny Hoopla. If it reminds you of anything, obviously, we got, New Order and stuff like that. But any other acts that, you think this is akin to, I'd love to hear your opinions down below. Also, while we have your attention, please like, share, and subscribe if you be so inclined. Help us bolster the channel here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully, John and I will see all y'all in growing numbers on the next installment of the Audio Files. We'll see you later, guys.